Hi there, it's Karen here. Welcome back, and we're here for the flip through number 2 for this week. I don't think I've ever had 2 journals ready to be finished in 1 week, in the same week. It's very unusual. It's just the way it's worked out with these 2 journals, and the timing's good because I've got things I want to clear away and start getting my Christmas things out. But yes, this journal is now finished, and I'm going to do a flip through today. Before I start, however, I've got a couple of things I want to talk to you about. The first thing is I have some very good news. Very exciting news for the family. Our little Arlo, who you've heard me talk about, our darling little 2-year-old grandson, well, he's going to be a big brother. My daughter Hannah is expecting another baby. We've known for a few weeks, but we're the only ones that have, me and Richard, because we went on holiday with them. We had a weekend away with them a few weeks ago, and they hadn't long found out themselves, and it was something that was really difficult for them to hide, as we were living with. We were in the same house for 3 days, so they did tell us, but we were sworn to secrecy. So nobody else in the family knows, but now she's had her 12-week scan. All is well. Little Bean is doing okay. So she's now, I think this weekend, it's been all about telling everybody, telling George's parents and his sister and her sister and everybody. So yeah, it's wonderful news. It's something we knew they were hoping to do before. Well, I thought they'd wait till next year myself, but I don't think they could. They couldn't wait, and so they're going to be a family of 4. How exciting is that? So yeah, so that was our good news. The other thing is not bad news or anything. It's just that I thought I'd hark back just briefly to the Owl Journal that I did the flip through for on Wednesday. And I couldn't leave it with an empty pocket. It just didn't feel right. So I've gone back into my stash and, my bits of ephemera that I've made before, that I've just put in a box. I've got 3 boxes full of ephemera that I've made. And sometimes I forget I've got it. So I went in and pulled out a couple of things to see what would work. This is the one I've chosen. This is, I think it's what do you call it? One of those envelopes, those narrow envelope. It's got a name, and the name has totally escaped me for the moment. I'm sure it'll come back to me at some point. But you know the sort I mean, one of these narrow envelopes. And because it had the owl on the front, I thought, well, that works, and it fits quite well into that pocket. I've just re-inked it with some walnut stain. I've put a bit of extra washi tape across the top to reinforce this. It didn't have anything in it when I pulled it out, so I've now added a tag that I found also in my box. It doesn't necessarily match the theme in that it's got a couple of birds, not owls, on it, but I thought the colour went really well, particularly in this spot. Oh, sorry, I don't even know if you can see that. Well, here we go. So yeah, the colours worked really well, and it fitted, and that was kind of the main criteria really, because it was difficult to find something that fitted. So that's gone in there. It has got this little topper, which made it a little bit of a tight fit, but I did manage to get it in there, and I push it right down to the bottom, and it is in. And if I close that up like that, then I've got one of the pieces from the Faye kit just to catch it in there. And I thought, because it was kind of popping up a little bit, that's why I added the paper clip. That's now disappeared. What did I do with it? Did you see what I did with it? It's here somewhere. Anyway, I have a paper clip which has gone for a walk. I'm sure it's right in front of me, but I got it. There it is. It's hiding underneath. So it's just like a leaf. So I thought that would be quite nice on here. So I'm just going to pop that there. Leafy, it's a little bit of a funny shape. I think it's because it's quite a fat spot. I've got it right where the topper is. So that is just holding that all together and popping in there. So now I've got something in that side pocket there, and I feel better. So yeah, that's done. Put it aside now. That's it. Spread these things out. I just thought I'd put this over my mat because the mat's a bit mucky, and I thought it'd be nice to do the flip throughs on something pretty. So we have this gorgeous one, and I have now finished it. I had a few little things to finish off at the end of the last video, which I've now done. I've also gone through and I've done a few little finishing touches. I've added a bit of lace here, a little topper, a little tab there, or a word. I've just added a few bits. I thought, oh, that just needs something. So as I go through, I'll try and point out what I've added. And there were only a couple of pockets right at the back that I hadn't finished and put something in. So that's all been done now. And I've gone through and sewn around most of the journal cards. If they looked like they needed it, I've kind of decided on a case-by-case basis whether each journal card or occasionally a tag needed to be sewn around. And I've just done that. So yeah, this is as finished, I hope, as it's going to be. Two signatures. And I love it. I love this one as well. They're very different, these two journals, very different. That's what I love. I love doing different things. And this is just so tactile. It's just so pretty. It's got all loads of lace in it. It's got lace throughout, lace and fabric. It's soft. Look at all of that. Oh, yummy. Okay, let's go through one last time. So if you probably see most of this because I have worked my way through a couple of times adding things, but this will be the last time. So just going through, I'll just show you what I've put in, and if I've made any little changes, I'll point them out. Like for instance, I have sewn around this tag. It's not very easy to see because I used a cream thread. I didn't want to use a brown thread, which is my usual go-to colour for most things, because I felt this was too delicate. The colours are very soft, very, very pretty, and I felt it was a bit harsh to have brown stitching round things. So I've gone for the cream, or ivory, whatever colour you want to call it. So it's not very obvious, but I think it just gives it a little finishing touch. So I've got a little tag there, and a little journal card from the Medieval Mirage. I haven't sewn around this one. I tended not to do the smaller things. Just too fiddly and doesn't seem to be necessary to do it on everything. So I've got my bit of snippet here just on the edges decoration. There's no tuck spot. It's got this little interactive envelope with its little letter in it. Love these. So that's that one. Then on the back I have this journal card, and I did sew around this one as well, so you can see it across there. I felt they were just a bit bare, some of them. They just needed that little finishing touch. So I've got that journal card in there, and then tucked into here is one of the letters from the Billet Doux kit. So the two kits that I'm mainly using are Billet Doux from Reginbella Crafts and Ladies' Letters and Ledgers. Oh, I get that wrong every time. Let me get it out. Okay, the correct name of this kit, the Medieval Mirage kit, is Antique Letters, Ledger and Ladies. For the last time. It'll be linked below. And one final kit that I pulled from is a kit by Ruby and Pearl XO, and it's called Book Club Ladies of Letters, and it's just a load of images of ladies with books or reading something. So they're either the ones from the Billet Doux kit are all about writing letters, and the ones from the Ruby and Pearl kit tend to be reading letters or reading books. So this letter pops in here because this is an envelope. It looks like it belongs together. To me, it does anyway. Then this is a glassine bag that I have hinged with something else, which will appear later on. Decorated up and put in a journal card. So you'd seen the journal card, but when I was going through, I did sew around it, And then I thought it looked a bit, it's almost invisible, this little tag I had on the top there. So I've just added a little bit of lace and a little bit of trim, just so that it sticks out a little bit more obvious. And I just think that finishes it off a bit better. I just like that there, a little bit of lace and little flower trim. I think that just needed something. So then we have this pocket here. It's a little multi-pocket. So I've got a journal card at the back. And this is a combination of both kits. Little envelope, or envelope front, I suppose. Little journal card there. And then right at the front, in this little pocket here, I've got this journal card and a letter tucked in behind. So there were lots of letters and envelopes of different sizes in the Billet Doux kit, and I think they really look lovely in here. I like this pocket a lot. I make these kind of pockets quite often. So here's a lacy pocket with this journal card in it, and I did sew around this one, and then I added, did I sew? No, I must have added this little piece of lace as a tab. It wasn't on there originally. I added it in just after I'd sewn it. I thought, oh, need something to pull it out. So I added that. And there's vellum, beautiful vellum paper. Another pocket here made from the lace. This is the other journal card. And again, I have sewn around. I've done a kind of wibbly-wobbly sewing on some of these, just because I'm not very good at doing the straight sewing with a straight stitch. I'm better with a zigzag stitch. I do a lot better with a zigzag stitch. But if I'm doing a straight stitch, I sometimes like to just do a bit of wobbling, just to make it look as though it's, because otherwise I do an unintentional wobble, so I thought I'd make my wobbles intentional. There we are, so that just tucks in there. Then what else do we have? So we have this pocket here, and so I take these things out. So this is the pocket, and so I've got one of the letters from the Rach & Bella Crafts kit tucked behind it. It's really pretty. And I have a journal card, which I did sew around as well. Did another wibbly wobbly stitch all the way around on that one. That goes in this pocket here. So that's like that. And then I had a couple of little tags that I already had from my stash. Well, this one is from the Billet Doux kit. This one was in my stash. So these I've just tucked into this front pocket here, like so. There we are, like that. And this is a pocket here. This is the other side of the, this is what was hinged to the glassine bag. So this is just a journal card, or a card, that I had added a pocket to, just decorated it up. Got this journal card in it, and I have sewn around it, and then I did add this bit of lace before I sewed it. I just felt this needed a topper as well, or a little tab, whatever you want to call it. So I added this bit of lace, and I felt it needed that something at the top there, so I've done that. And we have this envelope here. The envelope was on the paper, and I've just kind of cut out another one and put it over the top. And then we've got a little collection of tags in here. I've got this one from the kit, another one from the kit that I've added some embellishment to. I'm going to pop that behind there. And then this was another little one that I had in my stash that I just thought it went really well colour-wise, and I've just popped it in there. Just that one. Another one of these pieces of my snippet roll that I made with another little envelope and with an envelope with a little letter in it. Pop it back in there. Okay, it's just really just a pretty little page edge decoration. And in this pocket here, I've got one of the envelopes. It pops up, and inside there is something I can never get hold of. Here it is. Journal card from the Billet Doux kit. It's inside and it's backed, ready to go, ready to write on. That's in there. Tuck that in. So it's kind of looks like it's that way, but actually it's that way round. But I'll put it in like that anyway. So it's that. Then in this pocket, these were made as part of Roxy's Weekly Challenge, made from a big envelope. So it's a double pocket that slips on, and I've done the same on both sides. I have a big letter from the Wrench and Bella kit tucked in there, and then one of the envelopes, or envelope journal card kind of thing, tucked in there. And I've done the same on this side, a letter and an envelope. Little pocket here, a couple of tags. I haven't sewn around these small tags. I said before, don't feel the little ones really need it. You could, I'm sure lots of people do, but I haven't. And then I added this little envelope to this pocket, and it sort of works as a bit of a tab, sort of sticking out here. And again, it's got a little letter tucked inside. I'm going to have it going that way. There we are. Like that. Plenty of writing space in here as well. So, second signature. This is the belly band. And the big journal card that goes in it was already sewn around. I haven't done anything to this. Love this one. Did that as part of Roxy's Weekly Challenge this year. Haven't done many of them, but now and again something has urged me to join in. Little cluster here. And here we have seen that using the snippet roll to decorate this side tuck or side pocket. Another little interactive envelope and letter. That's it. It will come out. It's not stuck. Just checking. So, and then this journal card I have once again sewn around. This time I've done a zigzag stitch. I tended to do a zigzag stitch if it's a bigger journal card. That's my general thing I like to do. Another little envelope with a letter in here and a second letter tucked in as well. Different shaped one, a long one. So I've just tucked those in. So lots of little interactive elements, things to pull out, investigate. There, on there. So on this pocket here I've got two more of those little envelopes. They've both got letters in. And then I've got this tag with a flip out. I think this I did, may have been part of the last year's Christmas challenge that I did with Dee Farrago. This was my non-Christmas prototype, I believe. So just pulls out, you can write on here, right on the back. So I've just tucked that in this pocket. I think one of the reasons I've finished this journal relatively quickly for me is I had so many of the pieces of ephemera already made by the time I came to do it. And there we are. Then we have the first fabric pocket. Journal card. I have sewn around this one, and I did add love letter, and I backed it onto a little piece of book page there because she looks like she may be writing a love letter. Who knows? But I just added that. That's from the words or the phrases, words and phrases from the Billet Doux kit. But this backing paper is from the Medieval Mirage kit, so it's a full another mix of the two. That's gone in there. And I have these two little pockets, both from the Billet Doux kit, and I've tucked into them an envelope in this one, the back, and then one of the letters. Now, there was plenty in the kit, so I've used them. This one folds up nice and small. It starts off like that. It's been printed on the back. And then I've just folded it up and tucked it in there. And this one, I've got a journal card and another envelope. So they just tuck in these little pockets rather nicely. This is one of the ones I made. It's got quite shallow pockets, but I've managed to find lots of little bits to tuck into them. So yes, well stuffed these pockets. Another little letter folded up. Journal card and a little image there. Tucked in there. Another journal card in a frame or framed picture to make a journal card, and another letter. Add to the back. Okay. So yeah, it's a nice full page. The other half of the fabric pocket, and this journal card, and again I have sewn around with the good old zigzag stitch, which I do like to do, but if it's a bit narrow or a bit small, I tend not to use the zigzag. I use the straight stitch, or a wibbly wobbly straight stitch, as I mentioned earlier. So that's that one. Okay, whizzing through now. So this is one of the final two pockets that I actually have finished today, filled today. So if I take them out, I've got that journal card and that tag. So at the back here I've tucked another one of the letters that have been printed onto the back, and it's all kind of nice and grungy looking. And I've just kept, instead of folding this one up, I've just put it in completely opened up, because I think it just fills up that background nicely. Then this journal card was a piece of an old piece of masterboard that I'd had knocking around for a long time. It was in my to-do box, but the colours didn't go together very well. The only colours that really worked with this pocket was this bit down the sides, a bit of pink here, a bit of blue here. All of the rest behind here were greens and weird colours, yellows, and I don't know, it was right old mixture. So I've taken a piece of paper from that pad that I've been using that I got from Temu a while ago, and it did have a letter on it, or an envelope. You can see it's sort of tucked on here. An envelope, and it's got a little rose on it. It's all got roses, and I thought, well, that worked really well. So I've just covered the bit I didn't like with this paper, cut it down the edge to give it a nice, fancy edge with the scissors. One of my fancy edge scissors. A couple of little die cuts on there. Bit of lace, bit of trim, just made it all really pretty. Took a piece of the snippet roll that I had left, added a bit of this extra bit of lace and this little crocheted flower that I got from one of the ladies at the retreat. Prettied that up. So I just used that as a tab, and I think that looks really pretty now. And that piece of masterboard, it's been knocking around, as I say, for 2-3 years probably. Didn't know what to do with it because the colours were so awkward. But finally I've managed to make it work, and it works really well in this pocket because we've got the pink from the background, and we've got this bit of blue which really tones in beautifully with her. So I think that is the perfect spot for it. And then in this pocket here, I had already cut a piece of book page and backed it, and then I've added some tissue paper. This is the tissue paper that came, some of the things I ordered from Rach and Bella Craft was wrapped in, all the bits of lace and things that I had ordered from them a little while ago. It's gorgeous tissue paper, so I have been using it in this journal because I think it goes really well. Still got some left, but I covered the tag with that book page, so with that tissue, and you can still see the book page behind it, which I really like. Added an image from the Medieval Mirage kit, one of those images. There was quite a few of those like that. Only used a few. Bit of lace at the bottom, and I had this cluster that was knocking around that I wanted to use, and I thought this was the perfect spot because it's the colours, and that pops in there beautifully. And there we have a nice finished and stuffed pocket. And then for the final one, this was some of the, if I move it along this way a bit, this piece of paper I'd added and folded up. Can be written on. I think you could write on this if you wanted to, and on here. I haven't done anything kind of too fancy with it, but on the other side I did fold it and make it into a side tuck here. Oh, I've got a side tuck here. I've just spotted that. I've done it again, haven't I? I've missed something. So I have to find a little spot for something to go in there. But anyway, I have in here, I've tucked another letter. This tones in very nicely because it's all blue. And I just took had some packaging, a piece of ledger paper, but it's digital ledger paper, which I'd covered it, and that was all I'd started with. I'd already done that before previously, and then so I just did these this morning, and I found this image. This is from the Ruby and Pearl XO, one of the ladies of letters, and I just thought the colours in her dress were a perfect match for this pocket, for this piece of paper. I just thought it coordinated beautifully. So I stuck that on, added a bit of lace behind it, sewed around it. I've added this little piece of book page and another word, daydream, because I feel like she looks like she's daydreaming. And then right at the last minute I stapled on this bit of lace just because I felt it needed something more. There's always something more you can do. So those are tucked in there. And that is the last thing that I've done. So that's the end of the book. However, I have now noticed, obviously, I need to put something in here. So I'm going to pause the camera and find something to go in this pocket, and I'll be back. Okay, so I've pulled this piece of paper out, which I absolutely love. I think it's really pretty. This is from the Medieval Mirage kit. Ideally, I would have just folded this up because it's been printed on the other side and tucked it in, good to go. However, it printed upside down on the other side. So that doesn't look right at all. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to measure what I need. Let's put it back hold it up in the pocket and measure how much I need. Cut it to size. So I need it to be, don't want it too wide because we're kind of on a bend here. So I think we'll just cut it there. And then height wise, about here. You can see that. And I'm going to cut it down, and then I'm going to cut the same and then I'm going to turn it over and back it onto itself, but the right way up. So I'm kind of going to use both bits, most of the paper, but I'm going to have to back it onto itself, and that'll make it nice and a nice size journal card, I think. And I'll just decorate it up a little bit, and we'll be good to go. Let's just check if that size, if that's going to fit. Or is it a bit? Yep, that's good, like that there. And then I'm just going to turn this over, well, not turn it over actually, well, turn it the right way up, decide which side I want. I want this side because I want this to be the writing side. So I'm just going to back it onto itself. That seems to me to make the most sense, to make the most of this paper which I do love. I love both sides. I'm going to try and use this tacky glue for this. I don't really like using glue stick on big pieces. But I haven't used this for ages, so it's a bit gummed, I don't know. Bring this in just to be on the safe side. Okay. There we go. And this all I wanted, wasn't it? Yep. So I'm just going to line it up there. I think I've got it about right. That should be nice and thick. Oh, thicker anyway. It's not super thick. I don't want anything too thick. We've already got a pretty chunky journal. Only just about got enough ribbon to do it up. And there. There's something not quite right here, so tidying that up, I think. And tiny bit at the top. Get hold of that bit. Okay, so I just want to make sure these are smoothed out nicely. Don't want any wrinkles. I can help it. Okay, so we have our journal card. I've still got a bit sticking out there. Never quite managed to line things up properly. Nothing a trimmer won't fix. Or a pair of scissors. Okay, so I think I'm going to do the corners. So I'm going to do the middle punch. I'm going to do all four corners the same. Hope it punches because it's going to be a bit wet. Just make an interesting shape. And I will ink around it. Okay, so we've got this, which is really pretty, but I want to make it prettier, of course. So I thought I'd pull out another one of these toppers from the same kit, from the Motif Mirage kit, to go in the middle. And just to kind of lift it from the background, I've got a bit of pink lace and I'm just going to lay under it like that. I think that's what I'm going to do, and that would be enough, because I don't want it too much, but I want it to at least have a bit of decoration on it. So I think, just trying to think what's best to use. Really and truly, because this is a kind of crochet lace, it's thickish, I'm probably best to use my fabric glue for this. So I think I'm just going to do 2 lines of glue either side and 1 up the middle. Okay, that's laying nice and flat. Trim that off. Oops. And we can now add our topper. And that'll be it. Don't add any more. Probably more than I needed to, really, but I can't help myself, really. Come on. Okay, so I was just gluing this on, which I have now done. As you can see, it's all glued on. And well, just as I started gluing, my best friend in Norfolk, Wendy, she rang me. So it's now about an hour and a half later. The light is beginning to go, so I thought I'd better get this finished quick. So we hadn't spoken for a few weeks, so we had a lot to catch up on. So we've been talking for a bit. So I thought I'd better just come and get this finished. So as it's been about an hour and a half-ish, this had all dried, so I have actually gone ahead and just quickly sewn around as well, which I hadn't really planned to do because I thought, wouldn't have time. But I have done it because it is dry. So actually that looks nice. I've just done a zigzag stitch all the way around, and that's nice and finished, but it's not too thick. So let's put it back in the journal, which is now properly finished. I can get it in this little side tuck there. There we go. Yeah, I think that looks really nice. And it's got a nice bit of writing space on the back. So lovely. Just when I thought I'd finished, and now I have properly finished. Make sure that's all tucked in, close that up, and we are done. This journal is finally finished. Absolutely love it. Love all the laces. I love the fabrics and all the yummy things that it has in it. I'm just trying to wrap it up. It's getting more of a challenge to get it closed up now as it's got thicker. This wraps around twice. I don't want to cover her face. There we go. Get a nice bow, and then we are done. I hope you can see. I think you can still see. There is some light. Obviously, as time moves on, I won't be able to film at 5:30 in the afternoon for much longer, because the light will start to go faster and faster in the afternoons. Right, there we go. We have a nice bow, nice-ish. There we go. I think that's okay. So that's it. Literary Lady's Journal, finally done and dusted again. Another quite a chunky one, but because of the softness of the cover, it just feels yummy and doesn't feel too fat. Just feels a nice handful. So there we go. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed looking through this. And so I don't know quite how things will continue in the next week. I will definitely be doing the 50 stack challenge. I will go back to now start working again in my autumn journal. We'll go and do some more work in that. Whether I get to start Christmas stuff next week or Christmas journal next week, I'm not sure, because I don't really know quite what I'm going to do yet. I need to look at last year's to see where I am with that, whether I actually need another one for this year. So I will let you know. You'll see me pop up. I will do something Christmassy at some point, but I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. I know I've been making ephemera for my Christmas journal. I know the kit I want to use, but I don't yet know the style of journal I want to make. That's what I'm driving at. So I will see you soon either way. Bye for now.